but you ain't no dancer. Look out, helter skelter. Helter skelter.
One of the standout blink and you miss it moments from Anthology's new episode 9 is the genesis of Helter Skelter. Perched on a wooden chair, Paul runs through the first known public performance of the song, with his then lady companion, one Francie Schwartz, sitting admiringly at his side and George Martin close by. This is a simple acoustic version, very much removed from the final raucous one, which later went on to grace the White Album.
Signed the Beatles.
Tell me the answer. Maybe you're lover, but you ain't no dancer. Look out, helter skelter. Helter skelter.
This session was on the 11th of June 1968, 1 month before the Beatles got together to work on the track. Paul is in Studio 2 working on Blackbird, and indeed Helter Skelter is interspersed between filmed performances of Blackbird.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Blackbird singing in the dead of night.
Blackbird fly into the light of a dark black night. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, all your life.
That second section, you got it. The second bit.
Blackbird fly. Yeah,
And then
I
finish.
think, I just forgot the format.
John and Yoko are also in the same studio, but later depart to Studio 3 to construct together Revolution 9.
Tell me, how so you made it lover, but you ain't no dancer.
So that's what this film's about.
The footage comes courtesy of a film to promote the then recently formed Apple, which featured James Taylor, Mary Hopkin, Magic Alex, and Dick James.
This is London, the home of Apple. The Apple concept is to bring together the artists of today with the methods and media of tomorrow.
A new nugget in episode 9 reveals how the Beatles asked Mal Evans, their assistant, to doctor a pot of tea, preventing both George Martin and Geoff Emerick from finishing one recording session at the early time of 5:30 p.m.
And Mal, our roadie, would have this big teapot. It was a big aluminium teapot, and he'd go out and remember one specific incident where he made a pot of tea and we doused the tea with uppers. And then he was up there with George Martin and I think it was Geoff Emerick giving them this tea. Because they were, can we go home now? No, you can't, you bastard, have a cup of tea. And until they were up there, till 11 o'clock at night.
And then they didn't want to go home.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let us leave. They don't know to this day till they see this programme.
There is the added bonus of some unseen footage from Peter Jackson's Get Back as well as some 1964 8mm colour film of the Beatles at a television show. A quick word on Anthology episodes 1 to 8, which have been beautifully restored in stunning HD, with each episode dedicated to John and George. Yet, at the same time, there is also additional new material, so a bit of a nightmare for any OCD completist. Maybe Apple, Universal, Disney intend to release physical media with the missing bits. So, best to hang on to your prized 1995 DVDs. So, to the main meat of the new episode 9 and the footage of the 3 surviving Beatles making music together once more and reflecting on life after John. It was particularly nice also to see the 3 supportive Beatles wives, Linda McCartney, Olivia Harrison and Barbara Bach.
Hello, darling.
Oh, it's really got all the girls now.
It's kisses. It's kisses.
Candy kiss for you.
And I can be on it too.
There you are.
I will.
It soon becomes apparent that George is less than enthusiastic about recording again with Paul. Allegedly forced into the entire anthology project due to his dwindling finances, George once famously remarked in a press conference in 1974, "Paul is a fine bass player, but he's a bit overpowering at times. To tell the truth, I'd join a band with John Lennon any day, but I couldn't join a band with Paul McCartney." Later that same year, in an interview with Alan Freeman, George commented,
I had no confidence in myself as a guitar player, having spent so many years with Paul McCartney, because he ruined me as a guitar player.
So, to the reunion itself, and even in the relatively relaxed confines of Studio 2, together with Paul, Ringo and George Martin, George cannot resist having a dig at Paul as they all listen to a playback of You Never Give Me Your Money.
Bitches.
Then when Paul talks about his demanding work ethic, George chimes in.
We'd always come in here when Paul called us. You would always phone.
I always used to think I was like the work fiend. I remember, like, on Let It Be, some meeting we had. We're all sitting around and we hadn't worked for like a couple of months. I'm saying,
You ran out of beauty competitions, did you?
like, you know, I judged a lot of competitions that year.
When Paul ad-libs during Free as a Bird with some off-the-cuff bird song, George sits next to him, ashen-faced, almost as if he's waiting for Scotty to beam him up. Yet there are plenty of examples of George's exquisite humour, which provide an insight into how each of the Beatles used humour to de-escalate conflict and tension.
See, I'm not getting back
Paul and I are
together.
going to do some stadiums next year
Mud wrestling.
together.
Mud wrestling. I think we could pull it off too.
And then there's the pivotal role of Ringo, forever acting as the peacemaker.
I'll be the ref.
The spectre of the missing John is never more apparent than when the 3 of them are working on his demos. Paul gestures to an empty chair, preferring to think that John has just gone out for a moment. George, at his most reflective, also addresses John's absence.
In some way, I feel sorry for John because, you know, the Beatles went through a lot of good times, but also went through some turbulent times. And as everybody knows, you know, when we split up, kind of, everybody was a bit fed up with each other. But for Ringo, Paul and I, we've had the opportunity to, like, have all that go down the river and under the bridge and to get together again in a new light. And I feel a bit sorry that John wasn't able to do that. I think he would have really enjoyed this opportunity to be with us again. We'd all had enough time to breathe, and I think it's much easier to look at it now from a distance.
Some of the last words remain with Ringo, and it's the most tear-jerking part of the entire enterprise. A wistful and clearly emotional Ringo tells George and Paul how much he's enjoyed spending time with them together at George's Friar Park home.
Well, this has really been a really nice day for me, chaps. But
It's been a pleasure for me too.
Well, we won't have to see you for the next 40 years.
Yeah.
It's almost as if Ringo is hinting at more meetups to follow, but his heartfelt words are met with silence from George and a deflective quip from Paul, and all three of them knowing that a true Beatles reunion is impossible without John.
Been really beautiful and moving for me. And I like hanging out with you two guys.